Hey guys, John Adamson, the rehab and documentation guru. I want to talk to you about wound healing. One of the disappointments that I've had routinely has been that my patients with wounds, I'm talking about things like acquired pressure ulcers, the patients don't get adequate education on their nutrition at all. What I'm saying is this. Generally, they don't get adequate information about how much protein they should be consuming. You can readily find on Google the dietary requirements for protein per kilogram of body weight in order to get wound healing to occur. Now, normally, it is suggested for maintenance of your lean body mass, just proper cellular function. It's suggested that 0.8 to 1.0 grams per kilogram of body weight is what you should be consuming in protein. However, when you're trying to heal out a wound, your protein requirement goes up pretty significantly. In fact, and this is the Canadian guidelines I just looked at, but I know that the American guidelines mirror it. The recommendation for grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is roughly 1.25 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight in order to properly heal out a wound. Now, some people have posited a theory that too much protein is hard on your kidneys. However, from all the research I've done, I've not been able to find problems with that. One example of people that routinely far exceeds even the 1.25 to 1.5 grams per kilogram are bodybuilders. I remember I watched recently a Joe Weider biopic. Joe Weider famously started the Mr. Olympia contest. He is really looked upon as kind of the father of modern bodybuilding. He's the one that helped promote Arnold Schwarzenegger, really helped launch a lot of careers in bodybuilding. But I remember in the biopic, Joe Weider told one of the guys that he was training in the film, you need to up your grams to 2 per kilogram. And the guy's like, what? Because he was already a big dude. And telling him, you got to really be eating more protein. So anyway, I was just at a patient's home who's got an open wound, stage 4, diabetic, and she's been given these protein shakes, which are high in sugar. And this is interesting because she's also got diabetic neuropathy, and she's telling me, look, when I have this stuff, it's upsetting my stomach and it's making the tingling in my feet worse. Yeah, she's like really spiking her sugar. I mean, drinks, for one thing. When they have sugar in them, you're going to assimilate that a lot faster. The glycemic index on sugary drinks is high. So any diabetic associated symptoms are going to exacerbate. And I looked at the drink and it's not enough. And on the bottle of these one drinks, these protein drinks, it says the drink itself has 10 grams. And it said 20% of your daily allowance. If it's 20%, that would put her at 50 grams of protein. And the lady has, she weighs 111 kilograms. And she's got a wound. So if she's following those guidelines, she's nowhere near the protein intake she needs. So this lady's scheduled for a flap surgery to cover her wound, which is not healing. I took a look at her. I knew right away what her issues were. because I start rattling off these things. Are you having numbness and tingling in your feet? Yes, I can tell. I'm just looking at her feet. Terrible, terrible condition. Scaly, grayish, scaly skin, basically from the ankles down. Thickening of the nails. Terrible dry skin formation. Callus, a little bit of callus formation, but she hasn't been up in a while walking. It's been like 4 months since she's been on her feet, so the callus isn't that bad. So anyway, watch your patients who have open wounds and make sure they're getting adequate protein. And then with that said, if you've got patients who are diabetic, if they're supplementing on their protein, encourage them to stay away from the sugary protein drinks, because they're going to be further detrimental. I mean, think about this. Part of the reason she has a wound is I can guarantee you she's well into the morbid obesity range. She's heavy. She's spiking her sugar, which is going to cause her to gain even more weight because of increasing insulin resistance, and that's going to just predispose her more towards wound development or lack of wound healing, because diabetics don't heal well. And anyway, I asked her and her husband about this, and they're like, nobody's ever told us this. Now, could it be that somebody told them that? Maybe. But I've found this to be a consistent issue, is lack of proper education on diet and what you actually need to heal out of wounds. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope you're having a great day. Take care. God bless.